I keep channeling this lyric from a Young Dolph song that's like, give a B1000 just to shut the F up, okay? And so this could apply in two ways. Either somebody is like hoping to be able to like bait or irritate you to the point where you would literally be willing to pay them just to leave you alone or something. So I don't know if that resonates. This could apply to literally like say you are in the process of like getting a divorce from somebody, and they like are basically just intentionally bothering you so much, or like being a pest in your life, like, and honestly trying to make it a living hell on purpose so that you would be willing to. And I don't know how like divorces work or anything, but it's just coming through that like if this applies, like they want to get a bigger, like, I don't know how it works, like alimony or settlement or whatever from your divorce, and they kind of like want to coerce you into agreeing to it just by them like getting on your nerves so bad. Like, honestly, please don't fall for that. If like, if someone's trying to manipulate you. But it's giving that like on the other side of this, you may just be like, even if someone isn't intentionally trying to coerce you for like money just for you to like pay them to leave you alone or something, it's like their behavior may be getting to the point where like you would rather just be done with the whole situation. And it doesn't have to be like a divorce situation. I just couldn't think of like how else that would apply necessarily. I mean, like, I don't really know who's watching these videos, but there is this sense of like, it could also apply to if you are like saying or doing something, I don't know. It could also be that you are like you living in your truth, or just like living authentically in some way, or even like shining brightly. So if you're someone who has stopped shrinking yourself for the comfort of those around you or whatever, especially if you were someone who used to like not speak your mind as often, it's giving that like, and you could be like speaking the truth and being honest and being like respectful, and it doesn't have to be like you're saying it on social media. It could just be like in your immediate circumstances or whatever. But it's like there's a sense of like people, I don't know, that's so weird and toxic. If you have people in your life who are capable of like, and that's sort of like hard to say because you may not perceive individuals who are capable of doing this as necessarily being able to do it, but like there's some energy of like financial abuse and financial manipulation going on here. um but like it's almost like somebody may want to give you, this is weird, like a dirty offer in order to get you to sort of like stop like going along the path that you were you know that was like leading towards your happiness or your truth or whatever. This could be oddly specific, but it's almost giving that like, this is really specific, like say your family has like a business, okay, and like all of your cousins work at that business, or they all get like paid a lot working there, but for some reason they just like wouldn't hire you or would never put you on payroll or something like that. And so you're like, okay, I'm just gonna like go my own way since my own family won't help me out or whatever. And now you're starting to become more successful to the point where like you may not even be able to recognize this right now, but I think others can. They could like see that the way that things are progressing for you, like honestly, you could outdo the people who kind of like ostracize you in the first place. So it's giving that like they kind of see if you continue along this path, not that, it's, I don't know, like you wouldn't even need them, which like, I don't know, it like ruins the joy of them rejecting you in the first place if you don't like need them to accept you for like your own happiness and success or whatever. Which like, if you have family members like that, please like move away and never speak to them again, because I don't know, that's really toxic. But this is oddly like a really specific message, this part of it. But like there is a sense of like somebody with like a group of people like withholding something from you, okay, doesn't have to be family, but like to sort of like, and it like force you into a position where you had to just, you only were able to pursue your passions, like you didn't have another choice, like you basically were left with no other options other than to pursue your dreams, which was by design in a higher sense, but obviously like whatever, people thought they were playing like the most high in your life or whatever, dictating what you were and weren't allowed to do, and like what you were allowed to like succeed and achieve in. I am getting that like there could have been, and I'm not trying to I'm not trying to like, this is only confirmation, not to like create a scenario that, I don't know, develops like spiritual psychosis or anything. But there is a sense of like individuals almost like casting you in a role and then like doing everything to like manipulate and pull strings behind the scenes to like force situation to make you fit that role, basically. And that could look like superimposing limitations on your life. Like, it could even be something to where like say somebody was always telling you, oh, you can use me as a reference, and then like when say a prospective job or whatever would call that person, they would like shit on you and like ruin your reputation, and you'd be like, why am I not getting these offers back and everything else was like going so well? It's because they would like reach out to this person who like made it seem like you could trust them, and they like sabotage the opportunity and like act like in an innocent way, like, well, I can't lie about this, but they're not really the most reliable person, but they're really sweet and stuff like that, like doing it that way to like sabotage your opportunity. Okay, so that's a confirmation for somebody to not trust that, like, you have, like, if you have people that you're using as your references and you like aren't getting certain positions and stuff like that, you need to reassess those references. You know but okay, so going back to the other thing, it's giving that like, so people kind of like withheld opportunities from you that forced you to go on your own path, and now you're being successful on that path that you chose or that you had to take, basically, and you are calling in more emotional fulfillment and like financial stability and like success and happiness than those people have ever even glimpsed in their lifetime. And so now they want to like give you the offer that you used to want in the past or something like that, but now it's going to seem like measly to you, or you know what I mean? It's sort of like they want to now give you everything that you were like, I wouldn't say you were like begging for, but they perceived that like you wanted it so bad or whatever. So this doesn't have to just necessarily apply to financial resources. It could just be like, it's almost like someone wants to give you what they like withheld from you in the past in order to like prevent you from moving forward. So this could also be romantically. If this is romantic, it's giving like an ex that you maybe kept going back to or something like that, or like they thought you were codependent on them, and so they thought they could just like do whatever they wanted or whatever, and you kept coming back. And there's no judgment, like, you're not a weak person for doing that. If somebody was like, it's complicated when someone is like knows the right strings to pull on like your heart or whatever. And unfortunately, I think that some people are so kind of like ignorant or whatever that they are unaware of the fact that they act narcissistically because they're so deeply rooted in a victim mindset, especially people who are like younger, because it's not necessarily that like every person who exhibits narcissistic behavior just like knows that's what they're doing or whatever, but it's giving like, I don't know. And it's a slippery slope from like just exhibiting those like behaviors versus actually being like, capable of being clinically diagnosed as certain things, you know what I mean? So it's giving that like you may have dated or dealt with people who, because your behavior and your consistent action dictates who you are. So just because they may have been too young at the time to necessarily be like a fully fledged narc or whatever, or like, I don't know, it's like they keep doing the same behaviors that are like, history would sort of like see them like on paper as being narcissistic or whatever. But it is sort of giving that like, this is really specific, okay? I almost want to like whisper this part, okay? And I'll just say that like, this cannot be interfered with. It cannot be blocked. So if you're like a karmic who wants to sabotage this, go, like, it's not going to work. You're just going to ruin your own life. But like for the collective, it's giving that like, you used to be codependent with an ex, and now you like met a new person who is like, okay, objectively like they're superior in every way or whatever, and they like see and recognize this, and now they want to try to be the person that you wanted them to be in the past to sort of like interfere with you basically like climbing up in life by like being in association with this new person who actually gives a shit and like loves you or something.